Welcome everyone to Tarot and the Moons. My name is Ingrid. Let's get started. I'm going to try to keep this one short and sweet, but we shall see. So, as you know, I am looking at the moon in order to assist us in regulating our emotions, right? The moon can be understood in this sense as some sort of an emotional landscape that reflects our inner state. So for this June 29th, the full moon in Vedic astrology is placing this moon in Sagittarius, while tropical astrology is placing it in Capricorn. For me, when we're looking at the full moons or the new moon, both the tropical and the Vedic sidereal astrologers are correct, because I feel like our emotions are swinging between these two axis points. Now, these are two very different zodiac systems, and I understand that. But they're describing the same lunation from a different symbolic sort of framework. And for me, Sagittarius is emphasizing the search for meaning and the search for higher understanding, while Capricorn is emphasizing responsibility, maturity, and some sort of practical application. So our emotions are going to be swinging between being in the search for meaning and then hunkering down to a sense of practical responsibility. So under this Vedic system, the full moon in Sagittarius is an emotional landscape that's centering around our growth through our truth and our perspective. Now, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and this is the planet of higher learning, philosophy, wisdom, guidance, and expansion. So emotionally, this full moon is going to sort of encourage us to step back from our immediate circumstances and to really ask these larger questions. Who am I? What am I learning? What belief systems are guiding my life? What truth am I ready to live? Esoterically, when we're dealing with Sagittarius, we are dealing with this representation of the seeker becoming the student of higher consciousness. And so the lesson is not going to be simply to collect, knowledge, but it's going to be to embody wisdom through an experience. So this full moon is going to highlight this expansion of consciousness, and it's going to invite us to shift from reacting emotionally to responding from a place of deeper understanding, deeper faith, and also purpose. Now, under the tropical full moon in Capricorn, the emotional landscape is going to focus on structure. It's going to focus on accountability. It's going to focus on mastery. And that's because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. And this is the planet of discipline, of time, of karmic development, and of responsibility. So emotionally, a full moon under a Capricorn influence is going to ask us, what is stable, sustainable, and aligned with our long-term goals, right? So it's going to bring our attention to our commitments, to our leadership, to our boundaries, and the work is going to be required for us to build a meaningful life. So these are big questions that humanity and us individually are being confronted with under these two moon influences. And esoterically, by the way, Capricorn is this sign of initiation. It's where the spiritual insight is translated into practical action. So pay attention to what you're doing practically. this emphasis is going to be embodying a higher principle through integrity and service and commitment. Okay? So rather than seeking sort of this external achievement, this full moon under a Capricorn influence is asking us whether our outer life is reflecting our inner value in some way. And you all know when I go into, right before I hit record on this stuff, I go into meditation. And the word that came up to express both the Vedic full moon influence with Sagittarius and the tropical full moon influence with Capricorn was the word alignment. Now, in the Vedic Sagittarius full moon, alignment for me means bringing our belief systems and our values and actions into harmony with our highest truth. And it kind of is an alignment of vision, an alignment of purpose, an alignment of our spiritual understanding. Now, under the tropical Capricorn full moon, for me, alignment meant more of bringing our responsibilities, our decisions, and our daily actions into sort of like a long-term engagement with our purpose and our higher standards. So together, for me, these two perspectives, right, of the Sagittarius full moon as seen through the eyes of Vedic astrologers and the Capricorn full moon as seen through the eyes of tropical astrologers or Western astrologers, this particular full moon is going to be about aligning our inner wisdom with our outer action while also allowing what we know to be true to become something consistent and alive within us and something that we can commit to. All right? That's it for now. Let's move on to the next slide where I'm going to be talking a little bit about the tarot players for this full moon. So once again, we are at a full moon point, and during a full moon, it's a perfect time to wrap something up, complete something, release something, or allow something to be illuminated in your life, okay? So we're going to start with a description here that I have of the tarot players for this particular new full moon phase. So once again, we are at a full moon. According to sidereal astrologers, this full moon is placed in the zodiac sign of Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter. And Jupiter rules two cards, which is the Wheel of Fortune and Temperance. So when we are speaking of the Wheel of Fortune, we're speaking of obviously good luck, destiny, chance, fortune, cycles of life, right? The cycles of life, what comes up must come down. It's very karmic in that way. And if we look at this particular card in a more challenging way, we could say that it's bad luck or that it's disorder or that it's external forces that are being disruptive in our lives, right? That energy of what goes up must come down. And the other Jupiterian influenced tarot card is Temperance. And when we see Temperance, this is about balance. This is about peace. This is about patience, moderation. This is about perspectives that are otherworldly, right? So on its more challenging side, one could say that this is about imbalance, that this is about self-indulgence, that this is about a lack of perspective or a lack of, or just a discord, actually, a discord, right? So if I pick one of these two cards in your reading, you are being influenced in this full moon by Sagittarius and Jupiter forces. All right. So I'm going to put this aside. I'll put it over here. And next we have, according to tropical astrologers, we are in a full moon in Capricorn, which is ruled by Saturn. And Saturn in the tarot rules two cards, the devil archetype and also the world. I always found that combination interessante. Uh, that the world is really what faces off against this heavier energy. Anyway, if you get this particular card that I'm drawn to or I pull, this is about release, but this is also about addictions, depression, mental health issues, ego comes into play here, secrecy, obsessions, cheating, all those things that we associate with the egoic aspect of the self. And on its lesser, I would say, not more challenging, but its lesser influence would be a release from bondage, would be a removal of the chains, would be um an instability or a dependency, right? So that's this card archetype if I pull that. And if I pull the world card for you, then this is also talking about success and achievement and accomplishment, but it can also be about travels. It can also be about a sense of belonging, wholeness, right? That energy of completeness. Um, yeah, on its more challenging, I would say that this is more a lack of success or a stagnation, a lack of achievement, some sort of a disappointment coming through, okay? So if I am drawn to one of these two cards, then you know that for this full moon, you have a very Capricornian influence and Saturn, right? So remember what I spoke about before, the commitment, the discipline is going to be a major player for you and regulating your emotions for this time period. And I'll move that over here. I'm just going to go ahead and begin our reading. So I won't do a different slide. And I'm using two cards. I'm using let me put this, where should I put it? Over here. I've already pre-shuffled this. I'll put it here so you can see it. And I am using this card deck called the Magical Hours Tarot. And I just really feel that with this combination of the Jupiterian Sagittarius influence with the Wheel of Fortune and Temperance, and then this influence with the world, the devil archetype, Saturn, and Capricorn, I really feel that there is a possibility for us collectively to experience something magical because we have here Temperance, a positive card, the Wheel of Fortune, a positive card, and the World, a positive card. And so, surrounded by all this positivity, the devil archetype has no choice but to free us from bondage and this feeling of entrapment. So I think something magical might happen from now until the new moon. That's that card deck. And then the other one um, that I'm using is The Universe Has Your Back by Gabriel Bernstein. And that's because I really feel like, again, with all of these positive influences, I almost feel like we're going to be given some sort of an understanding that the angelic forces are turning the wheels of fate and destiny for humanity, right? This world card for humanity. So that's why I'm using this particular deck. And it's not really an oracle. It's more like, it'll have a message. It'll have a message there for you. And I've already pre-shuffled these. And yeah, let's begin with Capricorn. All right, let's see what your card is. And Capricorn, you've got strength. I'm going to have to pull this over here and pull this over here so I can move my hands a little bit. Beautiful. So for those of you with Capricorn, sun, moon, or rising, I am focusing on the moon energy, but you can also look at your rising. It's going to tell you how you're going to move through this time period. And you can look at your sun, which is going to tell you more about what you will be doing, right? And then this is the energy of the moon, which is your emotional engagement. So for you, Capricorn, you are getting this beautiful vibration of the strength card. And this really is in order for you to feel this energy of success, to feel this, and I'm actually drawn over here. Capricorn, this is your lot over here, the Capricornian side, but I'm feeling that the strength that you need is in order for you to shine, in order for you to be seen, in order for you to be illuminated in some way during this full moon period. And it is you on a world stage as a leader, as a leader. What a beautiful engagement. Sometimes we feel that we're going backwards when in fact we're moving forward, but we sometimes just don't see it because of all of the strife that we have to go through in order to sort of sustain our emotional PowerPoint, our emotional strength. But know, Capricorn, that you are here given this gift of strength, which means that you have to quell the more challenging aspects of yourself, right? In order to be seen in the world and illuminated and propped up as the leader that you are. Let's see, Capricorn, what your guidance is from the universe has your back. If I can get the card up. And let's see what it says. I find a deeper meaning and personal growth amid the discomfort. This is that energy that I was feeling, that sometimes we go through this, we're kind of like fighting through something, Capricorn, but in the end, what we're fighting through is for our own benefit, to be seen and to be heard and to be acknowledged, right? So, whatever it is that you need the strength for, find a deeper meaning and a personal growth in that experience. Nice one. Let's put this here and this over here. Next, we have the Aquarius energy, and your card is the Five of Pentacles. And five, sometimes, especially with the Pentacles, it just has this energy of instability, of fear, of, I'm being drawn here to the devil archetype of even feeling like you're being inundated with emotions, and this I'm speaking to the Aquarius. So there's a lot of water energy that your sign as an air energy is not really accustomed to dealing with, and so it feels very turbulent, and you're going to be feeling sort of a little bit trapped or a little bit constrained during this time period. But the fact that you got the release card, this full moon is a perfect time to release these fears that have to do with either the maternal, right, or this mother energy. This feels very nurturing to me, or this engagement of the bigger picture of humanity. Sometimes we are picking up energies that have to do with a bigger global perspective, right? And it could also just be the fear of witnessing some sort of natural engagement, right? Don't let it trap you. Don't let it feed the fear, but rather know that this too shall pass and that ultimately you have the keys to this release point. Let's see what the guidance is. The key to prayer is to forget what I think I need. Beautiful. I think that's exactly probably the fear that's going on, this fear that I need to hold on to something because I think that's what I need, when in fact, that's holding you back. It's keeping you trapped. So for you, the prayer is to release it, to forget it, right? And allow the divine to come in and again have those magical hours in your experience. Next we have, that was a great reading too. Next we have the Pisces energy. Sun, moon, or rising. Let's see what your card says here. And you got one of the cards um, of our lot here, which is temperance. So whatever's going on with you, Pisces, it's being tempered, right? It's being, and I'm drawn here. I was going to be drawn again to temperance, but let's pick that wheel of fortune instead. It's this energy of the angelic forces are actually behind you, gifting you these beautiful, I almost feel like these fortunes. They're just being gifted to you during this time period. So congratulations on that. Just stay out of the way. Don't get in the way. Don't try to control the destined path, right? Allow it to take its turn, its circular path, and you will be blessed along the way. You know, I'm seeing gold. I'm seeing just a lot of gold for you, Pisces. And your guidance is, when I'm in alignment with the love of the universe, peace cannot be disturbed. And that's the word that I envisioned in my meditation that came through: alignment. So stay balanced, right? That's this temperance card. Stay balanced, stay in alignment with who you are, with the force field of your heart, and all will be turning in a very positive way for you, Pisces. What a beautiful reading. I'm loving these readings so far. And next we have, I can get this out of the way, put this over here, and put this over here. Aries, what do we have here for Aries, sun, moon, or rising? And we've got this Five of Cups. Aries, there's this energy of you feeling disappointed, of you feeling that you didn't get everything that you wanted, of you feeling that you've spilled a lot of emotions, right? But know that there are two cups remaining here. So you really have to start looking at things from a different perspective, Aries. You're not trapped, right? You are these other aspects of the emotions that you feel that you've expended a lot of energy on is really here to teach you to not only regulate your emotions, but to gather strength in your physical body so that you can break free from these illusions that you've had in the past, that things haven't worked out, when in fact everything is working out perfectly, divinely, as it is supposed to be. One of the things about the devil archetype is that it tends to have a little bit of this energy, not a, it doesn't fool you. It lets you know exactly what's going on, actually, but it does expect you to do a little bit of work to release yourself from things people, situations, and circumstances that have expended your emotional energies. Nice. And next we have Sun, Moon, or Rising Taurus babies. Let's see what you've got. You've got the Hierophant Taurus, so you are all about teaching the higher knowledge, right? Teaching this, and I am being drawn here to the Temperance card about teaching the divine guidance of what you've learned over the years, what you've gained over the years, what you've experienced over the years. So there's a little bit of teaching going on here for you Taurus babies. And here you really are, that word, cultivating a different aspect of yourself, a spiritual aspect of yourself, understanding that there's a lot going on behind the scenes that's really helping you see clearly what your path ahead is. And your guidance is, my happiness is a direct reflection of my level of faith in the universe. There you go, right? The level of faith in understanding that there is something going on behind the scenes that's balancing your life. And in the interim, you are taking those experiences and lovingly sharing it with other people. And things will be happening in unexpected ways where you're going to be placed on the pedestal of the teacher archetype. But it's the teacher that teaches spiritual wisdom. Nice one. And next we have Sun, Moon, or Rising Gemini. What do we have here for the Geminis? You've got the Four of Swords. It's all about you relaxing, taking it easy, going into dream states. This for me feels very Jupiterian, to go into dream states and go into the space of the higher consciousness. What is it that you want to manifest? What is it that you want to land as your teacher, as your student, as the wisdom that is actually piercing through you, right? And it's coming from the angelic realms. So this is really an amazing opportunity for you to dream your reality into fruition. Let's see what your guidance here says. I always trust the direction of the universe and know I'm being guided. There you go. Know that you are being guided. This is the temperance energy coming in to refortify the message that was initially given, which is this is a perfect opportunity for you to go into dream state and make your dreams a reality, understanding that you are being guided to manifest it at this time. Lovely. And next we have Sun, Moon, or Rising Cancer. What do we have for the Cancer babies? We've got the 10 of Wands. You are just working, working, working. This is this energy of the Capricornian, Saturnian energy, right? You're working, you're creating. It feels laborious. It feels like you have to move forward because passion is driving you forward. Know that at the end of this particular full moon cycle, you will be recognized for all of this hard work that you're putting through now. I am the loving energy of the universe. You're doing this with passion. You're doing this with heart. You're doing this knowing that it is part of your path to carry on this load at this time. And be guided by the fact that energy from the universe is also there preparing you to receive the accolades. Nice. Next we have, oh, this goes over here. Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And for the Leos, we have the Ten of Cups. You are in a celebratory mode. And of course, we're going to bring in that beautiful energy of the earth or the world, because there's a completion point here for you. There's an energy of being with family, being united with people of like mind to you that you consider family. And it's going to give you a different perspective during this full moon period. Let's see what your guidance is. The presence of love will always cast out fear. Whatever this is, it is fortifying you and giving you the strength needed to illuminate more your light so that you shine. And in shining, that's how you eliminate fear and cast it out, right? Love is the light. Nice. This is feeling very grounded, guys. The reading itself is feeling for me energetically very grounded. So I'm seeing that as a good sign. Again, there are things that are just happening that may seem a little bit turbulent because we do have, coming here the devil archetype, but know that this is all for some higher purpose that we are just maybe not aware of at this time. Let's move on to that Virgo energy. Let's see what you've got, Virgo. And you've got this Five of Wands, right? So this energy of, I almost feel like people not speaking to each other, people going their separate ways, people creating drama. So this is a lot about relationships with you. And whenever we're dealing with relationships, we allow our egos to kind of get in the way of communication, to get in the way of meeting each other face to face, right? So for you, for this particular full moon, you're going to be interfacing with this devil archetype. And how is it that you communicate when things are uncomfortable for you, when things feel a little bit disjointed, right? How are you going to free yourself from the perception of bondage or fear in the face of disagreement of some sort? So it's all about how you react, okay? Specifically for you, Virgos, regulate your emotions during this time period with these card combinations. And let's see what you've got here for guidance. I'm unapologetic about what I desire and trust that what I focus on will grow. So if you focus on the strife, if you focus on the fight, if you focus on the disagreement during this time period, it's going to grow. Remember that we are dealing with this energy of Jupiter over here. And so what we focus on will be amplified. So again, with this combination, you definitely want to regulate your emotions and not feed into the drama, but release yourself from it by understanding that you have the keys. And sometimes we just have to be still and not be reactive. Okay. And that was for Virgo babies, sun, moon, or rising. And next we have the Libra sun, moon, or rising. Let's see what you've got. And your energy is the Ace of Cups. This, Libra, could be a new relationship. And I feel very much that there's something going on or working behind the scenes to kind of gift you everything that you've actually worked really hard for, right? So this is all about you taking care of yourself, taking care of your heart, and understanding there's a new relationship, whether that be with yourself or with another, that's being alchemized behind the scenes at this full moon period of time. Is this one? Yeah. So this is your message. I witness the darkness and call on the light with my prayer. So say your prayers, right, Libra? Thank you, universe, for guiding me to perceive this fear through the eyes of the teacher of love. So if you are fearful of a new relationship, of a new experience, go into prayer and see why it is that you are choosing to close your heart to the new experience, especially when the angelic forces and alchemy has been working so hard to deliver this gift to you. Open your heart wider, Libra. Don't close it. All right. And next we have, just want to make sure I don't skip anyone. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising, and your card is the Seven of Wands. So Scorpio, you've just been feeling like it's like it's an uphill battle all the time, that you're just fighting, 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 and it's an uphill battle. And you're doing it because you know that in your defense of your freedom, of what you want and you desire, you will have this release from all past energies that have kept you closed and bonded to experiences that you do not want. You're ready to break free during this full moon period. Let's see what your guidance is telling you. My capacity to tune in to the energy of love gives me the words I need when I'm ready to speak up, the compassion I need when it's time to forgive, and the power I need when I am lost. Very clear. For me, what stood out the loudest here is that the energy of love gives you the words that you need when you are ready to speak up. You are ready to speak up. Trust that the right words will be given, and you will be guaranteed that freedom that you're seeking. Okay. And lastly, we have Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Let's see what you've got. You've got the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands sometimes has this energy of contemplation, right? Like this energy of like feeling, you know what I'm gonna be drawn here to the devil archetype. I just got this image of you healing your family dynamics or your family strife of some sort. This is coming through probably for someone who's watching. It's because it feels very specific that you finally have figured out how not to feel trapped by past family dynamics, that you're actually seeing the gift of that. And part of seeing the gift of our past, especially when it comes to our family dynamics, is the key to freeing ourselves from the egoic aspects that have dramatized, right? That has created the drama within our family. Very interesting. Let go of the past, focus on the future, and focus on the bigger picture of humanity as well. Let's see what your guidance says. The moment I realign, there's that word again, alignment. The moment I realign with love, clear direction is presented to me. And that's it. To be in that space of love, you're going to get directed into where and how you want to utilize the past experiences that you've had in order to free yourself and do something positive for humanity, positive for others, right? To be of service to others. You're going to get that clear direction during this full moon period. All right, that's all I have for you tonight, for this particular full moon. I hope everyone stays safe. This was still a long reading, but at least I kept the first part of it short and sweet. And I'll catch you on the new moon. All right, everyone. Bye.